The Secrets of Signals by Lauren Wells. To learn about the motor neuron, we must first look at the beginning, when it first receives a signal. The part of the cell, that is the dendrites, receives the signal from the axon terminal. The interaction is called synapse. The branch from the dendrite and that of the axon terminal do not touch, rather they communicate through the transfer of ions. The neurotransmitters are contained in vesicles and transported to the edge of the axon terminal, where they are released to send the neurotransmitters to the dendrites. When we take a step back and look at the whole length of the neuron, we see the axon runs the length of the neuron from dendrite to axon terminal. The axon terminal from a different neuron sends a signal through the dendrites and then through the axon. Let's take a closer look at what happens throughout the axon. We'll start by creating the membrane. Remember that the blue is the sodium and red is the potassium. We have 2 sodium and 1 potassium on the outside, and on the inside we have 2 potassium and 2 sodium. Now there are channels, a potassium channel and a sodium channel. 1 sodium enters and 1 potassium exits through their respective channel, usually. The sodium-potassium pumps there in order to polarize and send the signal throughout the axon. The pump will send 3 sodium out and 2 potassium in. Remember that the cell membrane is made up of hydrophilic heads facing out and hydrophobic tails facing towards each other, creating a secure barrier between the exterior and interior of the membrane. If we look at the charge of the cell interior and cell exterior, the exterior of the cell is positive, while the inner is negative. When depolarization occurs, the charge changes, the outside becomes negative and the inside positive. The depolarization in the signal that passes through and behind it repolarization, which brings it back to normal. This follows the action potential curve of depolarization, repolarization, and then normal or resting. This signal travels throughout the cell to the axon terminal, where it is sent to another neuron.